Wreck My Podcast!
Who doesn't love the movies? Well, the Phantom of the Megaplex has it out for one movie in particular. We watched the Disney Channel original movie because it's kind of Halloween adjacent. This week on Wreck My Childhood.
Wreck My Podcast!
Welcome to Wreck My Podcast. That's right, we're talking another Disney Channel original movie, this time Phantom of the Megaplex. I'm here with my guest. They call him Cinema Kreger. It's Kreger.
Yeah, they do.
Yep. He'll make a monkey look good. It's Joe. Nice, that was really close. And then I'm your host. I went to the Community College of Blood and got my associate's degree in murder. I'm Jordan.
Murder.
Strikes again. I love, oh my gosh, this movie is so 90s, even though it technically came out in the 2000s, but like they kept calling him Bry Guy. Like, who talks like this? Like, it was so ridiculous.
Have any of you ever worked in a cinema?
No, that was like the golden grail of the holy grail of like
Golden Grail?
The Golden Grail. It's not the Golden Girls, it's the Golden Grails.
Don't you mean Golden Graham? By the way, great cereal.
Golden Grahams. No, that was like the holy grail of high school teenage job status, but I never got there.
I don't know. It was either the movie theater or Magic Mountain.
I can tell you, Magic Mountain sucked big old penis. Was not fun because I worked there, and everyone I knew who worked for the theater said it was miserable.
I don't know. The theater sounds super fun to me.
Now you got treated like crud, and the benefits weren't that great.
I wouldn't mind being treated like crud. Don't you get to go to free movies and stuff like that if you work there?
I just remember it wasn't everyone talked crap about it. That's all I know.
My big question about that is: are movie theaters like completely ran by teenagers?
I mean, yeah, it's normally
Probably.
like one general manager and mostly high school kids that are running those things.
This movie perfectly depicts it, where it's like one older dude running it and the rest is like young kids.
Yeah, and Movie Mason is every ticket stub taker, at least in Santa Clarita. Like they were always like the old dudes taking ticket stubs. So funny. All right, let's get into Jordan Explains the Movie real quick. That way we can tell you kind of what happens in this movie real quickly in case you missed it, never seen it, haven't seen it in a long time.
Oh yes, it's time for Jordan to explain the movie quickly.
Our protagonist, Pete, works as an assistant manager at the local movie theater. There's a major premiere going on soon, so everyone's abuzz getting ready, and Pete's got some girls that he likes coming to the premiere as well. There's an urban legend about the Phantom of the Megaplex, and it seems that he might be sabotaging the premiere. Popcorn machines are breaking, projectors are malfunctioning, and the general manager is nowhere to be found. Things just keep getting worse, and the possibility that there really is a Phantom is becoming more likely. But who is this Phantom? That's what Pete's trying to find out with the help of his siblings. Seems like it might be Movie Mason, but he says it's not, so that checks out, I guess. The premiere starts, and they still haven't found the Phantom, so let's cross our fingers everything goes well. It doesn't. The giant inflatable monster is now terrorizing the theater, and the exits have been blocked. But don't worry, Pete saves the day and unmasks the Phantom, who is the disgruntled general manager. Who would have thought? All right, so my question is, I'm pretty sure you both have seen this. Midnight Mayhem. Have you seen Midnight Mayhem? Have you seen College of Blood? University of Blood, or whatever it's called.
University of Blood. Or have you seen Farmer Brown?
No, you know what? I'm a big fan of Farmer Brown.
What's the point of that movie?
Okay, so I thought Farmer Brown was like, I thought it was going to be like Ernest. Until they actually showed clips of it, I'm like, yeah, what is this movie? Nothing's happening in this movie.
I mean, I get what they're doing. Every movie was like mirroring what was going on in their world, but also it's like, what's the story of Farmer Brown? He goes into town with his daughter, and he has something under a tarp in his truck. He comes back, she's not there, and whatever's in the tarp is gone. Which that sounds more like a horror film than a kids movie.
But also, if you think about it,
like sex trafficking, she got kidnapped.
If you think about it logically, though, this is what was happening in the Farmer Brown movie. As you said, he shows up and he goes, "Daughter, stay in the car. I'm going into the store." We leave the theater for about 15 to 20 minutes. We come back. He's come out of the store and his daughter is gone, which means there was 20 minutes of that movie of him just in the store doing shopping.
He's just like
Maybe a cut to another character.
1% milk.
What other
2%
character
milk?
is there?
1% milk.
Do you know what Farmer Brown? That would be really funny if that's what it was, Craig.
No, he does that 5 minutes. And he's like, "What am I doing? I have cows. I'm a farmer."
No. The real funny part would be he's going between 2% and 1%, and then he finally makes his decision, and he looks over, and it's all the milk alternatives. Then he's like, "No, more decision."
Almond.
Lactate. Anyways, what Farmer Brown actually made me think of was Simple Jack from Tropic Thunder.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yep. So my question is, have you guys seen this movie before?
Yes.
Yes, sirree, Bob.
Okay, and have you seen it in like the last 20 years, or did you only
Nope.
watch it when it came out?
Just when it was out. I don't know if I watched it originally when it was first out, because it was out in 2001, I believe, or 2000.
Mhm.
And but I know I've seen it before, but when I was a kid.
I have seen it recently because when Disney Plus first came out, I got super excited that all these Disney Channel original movies were on there. So I did watch Phantom of the Megaplex. I watched Mom's Got a Date with the Vampire. I watched Don't Look Under the Bed.
Mhm.
You know, things I rewatched them, and so I have seen this recently.
And as we said, for some reason, Unwrapped isn't on there. Like, it's so weird that they've just kept a few of them off the platform for some reason.
It's like those very first ones, those very first Disney Channel original movies aren't on there.
Like Paper Brigade, I don't think is on there.
I wish that was on there.
Yeah.
I would love to see that again.
Luck of the
Yeah.
Irish is on there.
Yeah, but that was
that's
that was
an
a
older
later
one.
one. Yeah, that was a later one for sure.
It came. I looked it up today. It came out in 2001.
Mhm.
One, yeah, still that's the older ones. The early
This
ones were
isn't
like
old-
early
this isn't-
90s.
Well, whatever.
Yeah, because
But
I think
one of the ones that I wanted to see again was the trash picking, field goal kicking Philadelphia phenomenon with Tony Danza.
Yeah, dude, that movie
What?
would be so good. But I don't think that one's on there either.
No, it's not.
Yeah, that would be a great one to if we could track down somewhere and watch it, because I remember that one just being ridiculous. The trash man becomes a kicker for a football team, and that football team, the Cleveland Browns. Okay, so what did you guys think
Cowboys
rewatching
could have
it?
used them.
Who could have used them?
The Cowboys.
Why do they have a bad kicker?
They missed a field goal.
I mean,
I
they
mean,
still
he
won.
Towards the end of the game, they
They
still won. Yeah.
though.
And I mean, he got good
Yeah,
fantasy
thanks to
points.
overtime.
Yeah, get how stupid this is. So I'm watching that game, right? And I'm on the CBS Sports app, and it's working fine. Like, I'm logged in, and it gets to like 5 minutes or
Can we pause for a second?
what?
You were watching a football game, first of all, and second of all, it wasn't a Broncos game.
Well,
Well, he's established. He's a Cowboy fan now.
I'm like watching the Cowboys
Oh.
out here because at least then I have something to talk about with people. And Madison likes watching the Cowboys, so I'm like, I just want to watch some football. I'm good with any team. That's fine.
And
So-
they got the cheerleaders.
Yeah, there you go. And also, who wanted to watch the Broncos lose 31-10 to the Raiders? Like, that
Yeah.
was awful.
Yeah, that wasn't a good
I think it
game.
ended up being 31-20 something.
No,
It
it
was
was,
all
31-10. I
Oh,
think.
okay.
But anyway, speaking of this, CBS Sports, it's the whole game I'm watching. It's great. It's a fun game. It gets to the last 3 minutes of the fourth quarter. It switches over to something else and won't let me rewatch it. I'm like, what are you doing? Why?
Oh,
like, it's an
man.
app. I'm streaming it. Shouldn't I
Is-
be able to stream whatever I want?
Do you have that app shared with anyone else that they maybe like logged in and tried watching it and it doesn't
Nope.
allow multiple
No,
users?
I can see that happening, Jordan. Where
I'm
like,
using my dad's cable subscription. He has no idea how to log into these apps.
no,
Unless I do it for him.
I can totally see them changing the programming.
Yeah,
on
because then
an
they
app
switched
like
it over
that.
right at the end to like whatever the Sunday night game was, and it was like them
Kojak.
getting ready for it. And it was like, I don't care about seeing the pregame for this. I want to watch the end of the game I was watching. Anyway, that was the football talk. The most you'll
The
hear
end
from
of that
me
game was
the whole
actually
year.
pretty good. Seahawks and
I
Steelers.
luckily was too hungover and slept through most of the Charger game. So,
No good for the Chargers, huh?
well, no, it was good because it was a bad game. They only scored 6 points. So,
Yeah, they let me down.
Yep.
Yeah. So here's my question for you. What did you think rewatching this movie now as adults? Hold up? Not really hold up? What do you got going?
Good for nostalgia. Very corny.
Oh, so corny.
It is like I don't think it holds up for adults. It's it's nostalgic for sure,
Mhm.
but it's hands down a children's movie.
Agreed.
Now,
Yeah,
here's
like
the question: with Home Sweet Home Alone coming out, which is like a newer version of Home
No,
Alone,
it's like a
nope,
complete
nope,
remake now.
nope,
It's
yeah.
nope,
But it's
nope,
for the new
nope,
generation of
nope,
kids.
nope,
My question is, do you
nope,
think Phantom
nope,
of the
nope,
Megaplex,
nope.
if you showed it to a today's child, would they find the same enjoyment out of it as we did?
I think yes.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't even know what goes on in the heads of kids nowadays, man. They're a
I don't
different
either.
breed.
So that was
they're a different
complete
breed.
guess.
I think they'd be frustrated because they're like, why are they sitting on a bench waiting for their mom? Can't they just get an Uber?
Yeah, that's a good point. They're going to be frustrated with the lack of technology. Why
Yeah.
can't you just use your cell phone? Or
Mhm.
where's the camera footage? Is there not security footage anywhere?
Yep. And the fact that like the mom had a beeper and the boyfriend had a phone, like and that was like you had to like help each other out
No,
with the
no,
cell phone.
And the
No,
mom
no,
didn't even
he
know how
didn't
to
have a
use
cell-
the beeper.
No, he didn't have a cell
didn't know
phone.
how to go back
no.
and look at the numbers.
He didn't have a cell phone. They talked on the payphone at the movie theater.
No, the boyfriend had it. The mom's boyfriend had the cell phone because he's an adult.
And he was running out of minutes.
He was running out of bed, but it was after 7 p.m., so he was good.
Do you remember that when people had to keep track of their
100%.
minutes?
Yes, I remember
100%.
that. And text messages, you had like certain amount, and then it was like 10 cents a text. Oh my
Every
gosh.
kid got their first cell phone, found about text messages, and then that first bill,
Month.
you got grounded.
Yep.
Oh yeah, in so much trouble. Yeah, I thought
And then
this
it happened
one.
all again with data.
Yeah, I know the data is. I'm so happy we're at a point now where
Big-
like none of that.
big
Everything's
data.
just unlimited.
Yeah, everything's just unlimited, and you just pay top dollar for it. I thought this movie held up pretty well in the sense of like a children's movie that's fun to watch. Like I had a good time rewatching this movie, although there are a lot of things. In fact, let's get into them. There's a lot of things I noticed where I was like, I don't think this exists. Like cinema sitters.
I've never seen that before.
I don't think that exists because I tried to look it up online and like there was nothing about it. Like,
Yeah, that was purely for the movie's sake.
yeah.
And I'm kind of confused on what a cinema sitter does. Does she just roam around the halls and look
I
for like
believe
kids
she
that are
sits
just
in
like
the
wandering on their own?
I believe she sits in the staff room and warms eggs.
Oh god.
No, she warms the reels. It's just the film. She's sitting on him. Cinema sitter.
I think what she's supposed to be doing is like a hall monitor kind of thing where like kids can't be out of their seats. But like first off, it's a public place. Like if you bought a ticket, you're allowed to be in there and do whatever you want. Like you can it's not considered loitering if you bought a ticket to be inside of there.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'll
Like
be back in
purchased
like
access.
30 seconds.
Oh my gosh, Krager just hopping off the podcast right now.
I mean, and then it doesn't help that the entire place is ran by kids too.
I know that doesn't help at all. But so I thought it was super funny though. Such a classic 90s intro with all the like exposition and nicknames where it's like, I'm Pete and I'm an assistant manager and this is Honey Hillary or whatever. Like they have nicknames for like every single person. Which is like, what is this? Like, do we really need to have a backstory for every side character in this? I don't
Racy
think so.
Lacey.
I was gonna say Racy Lacey.
Everything rhymed.
Racy Lacey sounded like that would be like that was her MySpace name or something, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm Racy Lacey. I've realized watching this movie, I want to grow up to be Movie Mason because he's like just so happy about movies being made.
Watching this did make me think, I bet it would be awesome to own a theater, to just kind of like go in and just like really get the enjoyment of movies.
Well, here's the thing. I just went to my first Alamo Draft House. And I feel like it would be really cool to own an Alamo Draft House or something like that, where it's like very movie centric and like
I don't know what an Alamo Draft House is.
Oh, it's like an iPick or yeah, but like the original, like this was like
the OG.
The OG, like it's grungy kind of, and like it's not as like cushy and everything, but it's very like niche and funny. Like the pre-reel stuff when you're waiting for the movie to come on is like little comedy sketches they made themselves and stuff like that, and all these like little indie fun things. Yeah, and they do like recaps of if like it's a sequel you're watching, they do recaps of the movie before the one you're doing, but like they make them themselves, and it's just like a funny like YouTube video type-esque thing.
Is it like what is it, Lamel or whatever, where they show like classics and like indie films?
The Lemley, yeah. So
Lemley, thank you.
Yes, it's like that very much, because when I went, they were showing like Venom and they were showing No Time to Die, but they were also showing like the original Friday the 13th and stuff. So like
Okay, I like that. I think that's cool.
And what's cool about this one is they have apparently they have themed drinks and food for movies that come out, right? So like they had a Vesperi martini for the 007 movie.
Nice
and stuff. Like it's a very, very cool concept. But yeah, I
Yes,
think a movie
that's
theater
the way
like
to
that.
do it.
Yeah, a movie theater
totally.
like that would be super cool.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Yep, he does agree. He was here for the whole thing, guys.
One thing, the movie theater in Phantom of the Megaplex was actually pretty cool too.
Oh, it was a
huge,
huge movie theater. Yeah, that was. It was a theater in Toronto, actually.
Oh, really? I wonder if it's still like in business.
I kind of almost think I went and saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 there because when I was in Toronto years ago, we went to see a movie kind of on the outskirts of downtown, and I remember thinking while watching this movie, I was like, that theater looked very similar to the one I went to.
Did you guys already gloss over the hockey gumball?
Okay, so
incident?
that was my next note where I was like, because the most efficient way to cleaning all the gumballs is getting a hockey
so
stick.
mad because I see these people falling and I'm immediately thinking lawsuit, and then I see him start whacking gumballs into the trash can with them. Like, he's gonna cause more lawsuits, smacking people in the face with gumballs.
Also, I want to time someone. I want to dump a bunch of gumballs and say, here's a hockey stick. Here, I'm putting a trash can over here. I'm going to time how long it takes you to hit all those gumballs into that trash can. It would take like 3 hours. Like, it would be ridiculous.
Yeah, that was not efficient at all.
No, that was so stupid. Also, this University of Blood, right? We had a PG-13 rating. How violent can a PG-13 movie be? I mean, it can't be that scary. Because, like, not
especially
only
back then.
Well, I get like the little girls were like, oh, this is gonna be so scary because we're 12 years old. But there were full-grown adults walking in. You heard them talking like, oh man, I'm real scared. I'm like, no one walks into a PG-13 movie going, man, I'm so scared for the gore.
I Know What You Did Last Summer. Was that PG-13?
No, that's R.
What are some PG-13 horror?
PG-13 horror is like Insidious is a PG-13 horror.
I could see people being scared of Insidious for sure.
Mama,
probably what that's PG-13. Those things
Mama's,
are like crazy.
Mama's not. We just rewatched
Mama's
it.
Not crazy.
It's actually a really crappy movie. We just rewatched it
because my roommates are my coworker during lunch he puts on his phone and throws it on Chromecast to the TV.
Is he only your coworker during lunch?
He's my oh my god.
He shows up for lunch and then goes home. It's like, that was a good day of work.
Anyway, yeah, we're watching those.
Yeah, I think I think it's funny. I'm like, I get it. Maybe there's one or two PG-13 movies that are like horror films that are scary, but not one called University of Blood. Like, that sounds like a campy R-rated horror film.
Maybe
but it's
they're just
PG-13.
studying. Maybe they're just studying. Oh crap! I forgot the.
No.
I used to know the term for working with blood. Dang. Oh well.
Term for working with blood? A doctor.
Yeah. No, there's a special
an army man.
No, there's a special term for it.
A special effects supervisor.
Oh my gosh.
No, I can still see it being PG-13. There's tons of like teen horror movies like The Roommate and all those like crappy ones, The Uninvited. You know what I'm talking about? Anyone?
The Uninvited. Is that PG-13?
Phlebotomist. Thank you.
Oh yeah, the people.
I
that
knew what you were talking about, but I couldn't figure it out. It was like on the tip of my tongue.
I was thinking of something different. So
yeah, it's like a robot, but it's a Flowbot. So yeah, I just think the PG-13 scary thing is kind of dumb. But you're right, there are some out there. Now there was a phrase that I forget her name, but the girl that Pete was into. They're in the theater, and he like says something. She goes, "How raw would that be?"
I didn't hear that one.
I was like,
I didn't hear that either.
Was that a slang that they thought we used in the 2000s? Like, how raw would that be?
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna use that one now. Guys, this movie was raw.
This movie was raw. Maybe she was just a really big wrestling fan. I don't know. Okay.
Well, then she should know Raw is war.
She would know that. So here's a funny thing.
Maybe she was just early for the emo stage.
It could have been. It could have been. So there was a movie called like Demonic Cyclone or something. What was the movie called? The Twister. cyclone movie
yeah, what
with
was-
the fans that were in there.
Okay, and that fan was the most powerful fan on the planet.
Right? I'm like, what? That fan is blowing all
Jeez.
160 pounds of this dude? I'm like, I don't think
Dear
so.
Lord.
Also, I was watching it. I'm like, so is this movie literally just like them filming the inside of a tornado? Because that's what the movie was on the screen.
Yeah.
It was just like the inside of a tornado. And I'm like, this would be the most boring movie ever.
And there's always the cliche cow.
Yep. And then the plastic
Popcorn.
bag that hits him in the face.
The popcorn, I think.
Yeah, whatever it was, I was dying. I'm just like, see, there's moments like this where I'm like, it's not meant to be funny, but as an adult, you're just like, this
How
situation.
can you not laugh at this?
You can't laugh at it because if you think about it logically and you're like, if I put myself in the situation of what was happening right now, why would I be watching a movie that's literally inside of a tornado for the whole time? And then also,
man.
so many like theaters were having problems going on, but like no one got up to say anything. They all just sat there for like 30 minutes yelling up at the projector.
There was the one Karen who's like, normally I don't usually do this, but
Yeah. But I just thought it was funny that people were just like sitting in a theater with like the lights going on and off and just yelling at each other. That was pretty funny. So also when they go down to the basement, they're like, "Oh man, we got to go find Sean. I think he's in the basement." Did you notice that they were going down like 10 flights of stairs? I'm
Yeah,
like,
there's
how,
a ton of flights.
how low is this basement? Is this basement like subterranean? Like, what
that
is
yeah, I didn't
this?
think about that. That was a lot of stairs.
Yeah, way too many stairs to be a basement. Like, didn't work at all.
Well, by definition, aren't all basements subterranean?
Okay, I meant like, Stranger Things season 3, like going to the middle of the earth to find a portal, kind of.
Oh,
like,
so we're going to the upside down.
yeah, like it was deep.
Spoiler.
Oh, like you haven't watched it. I thought it was a very interesting name drop they did. The mom is like,
Phantom of the Opera?
No, not Phantom of the Opera. The mom is like looking for her kids near the premiere, and she's like, I've seen Katie Seagal and LeVar Burton, but can't find my kids. I'm like, why were those the two names they picked to name drop? Like LeVar Burton, Reading Rainbow, everyone knows that. And then Katie Seagal, like Married with Children. I was just like, what is this?
I didn't even pick up on that.
Yeah, I just thought that was so
didn't pick on that
random.
one either.
Like, why didn't they say someone a little bit more popular? But I don't know.
Yeah, like Steven Seagal.
Yeah, Steven Seagal, Mel Gibson. Where
Leo?
was Leonardo DiCaprio big in 2000? I feel like he was
It
still
was
kind of.
after Titanic.
Oh, you're right. He did break out for. Then that was what 99, 98.
No, he sank.
Wow. Wow. That was a good one actually. So Joe, you did the laughing effect that the Phantom does. Whoa. Where was that?
again?
Where was that coming from? Because as we established in the movie, the Phantom is just Sean McGivern, the disgruntled general manager.
Yeah.
Was he holding a little laughing like box with him to make that
I'm pretty
noise?
sure no one was
guess.
saying that. That's just a sound. That's just a sound they put in the background for us.
Because
No, but
he couldn't
No,
have
I'm
done
saying
that
I'm-
laugh without hiccuping.
Yes, it wouldn't have
No,
worked.
I'm pretty sure like they just thought we're gonna put this in and we don't care if it's him or not.
Well, of course, from a production standpoint, that's exactly what happened. But we're
No,
saying
but
in
I'm saying
terms of the
I'm
movie.
In terms of
No,
the movie,
no,
if
that's
I
what I'm
was
saying.
living the movie,
No, what I'm saying is like I don't think that sound. I think they're putting it in the movie as a sound for only us to hear, and like it's not even in that world.
oh, so like if I was living that world and he was
Oh.
wrapping me up with my siblings with a rope, all I would hear is silence.
No,
You
you'd
have
hear,
like a
you'd hear,
Bluetooth speaker
you'd
with
hear,
a whoa.
no, you'd hear like whatever running over rocks sounds
pitter-patter?
like. Over rocks.
And I'd be like, Brian, get your elbow out of my back.
That's not
Also-
my elbow.
He
Oh.
moves. Oh, my.
Oh, God.
These are children, Krager.
Yeah,
They're children.
jeez. And they're supposed
It
to be
was his
siblings.
knee, you pervert.
Oh, okay.
He's 13.
He moves giant inflatable animals
Waving an
very
arm, man?
quickly.
Wacky
Yeah, he-
inflatable waving arm man.
He moves them by himself. Like, also,
He
if
moves
this,
really quick, actually, because
He-
there was a ton of things that he moved by himself quickly.
yeah, and he has motion blur. That's how quick he moves. We learned that it's Sean McGivern. How did he handcuff himself, tie a thing around his face, and hang himself up onto the back of a door?
That one was. I was
Yeah.
all like, he had an accomplice.
Yeah, he had to have some help on that one. There's no way he could have done that himself.
I suspect Merle.
Yeah, I think it's Merle too.
Also, like going a little skipping over, but to the end, like, how is he so disheveled after he's just getting his own movie based on him? Like, this guy just basically got told, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna make a movie about you, and you'll be in it, and yeah, you're gonna make lots of money from this." And he's
I don't
so
know. That
disheveled.
guy was a little shady.
Also, the joke is supposed to be he's like, oh, he's happy about the movie being made, but then he's like, yeah, now go get me a coffee with cream and sugar, and then he
He's still
realized,
not
oh, I'm
appreciated.
just like an
I know,
I'm just like an assistant.
But still, if someone said they're gonna make a movie about me and I'll probably be in it, and I'm like, sure, I'll get you a coffee. I don't
Dude,
care.
a movie about me would be so boring. It would be like,
Oh my god!
it'd be like
Oh,
me doing
no.
laundry and dishes and then going to bed by 9:30. Like, what
No,
would the
it would
movie
have to be.
about?
It would have to be much more dramatic.
Yeah, dude, I think an
Tension
anime
builds up.
Oh,
with
I think it-
100
going nowhere.
I think an anime based on my life would be amazing. Like it would be these crazy action shots of me like throwing dish on this or soap on the sponge and then like smacking the dish with it.
I want to know
Cracking
how we're
open
gonna
the
work
beer.
in the real life event where you said I can't go out tonight because I'm doing laundry.
I mean, that would definitely have to be in the movie for sure. That would
Oh,
be
yeah.
in there. All right.
One question.
yeah,
so
go for it.
If McGibbon ended up getting the general manager position, would none of the other events have occurred?
Correct.
Like
So
if
it was
he
all
got
just because he didn't get the general manager position?
But the thing is, does he just carry around the cloak and stuff and
Yeah,
mask in his
that
car,
was
like
my
ready to
question.
go? Like he
No, you have to
prepared
remember
for this.
No, you have to remember they set everything up, and then he got the call saying he was going to be general manager. Then everyone went home for several hours until the
Oh.
opening.
That's
But
true.
this is what-
Several
People did go
hours to do
home.
all that stuff.
But this is what I don't understand. So he wants to create mayhem at this Hollywood style premiere, the unveiling of this big blockbuster movie. If he does this, that just reflects bad on him because he's the general manager in charge of everything.
No,
and so
Oh, you're right, because if it was happening before the dude got there who was supposed to take his spot for the premiere,
yeah,
that is kind of dumb. It doesn't make
because
sense.
he's just hurting
Well, I mean,
himself.
but also, but I mean, he gave himself an alibi by being tied up.
But what we're saying is like, what was the outcome he was hoping for?
Yeah,
with this?
what's
Like,
his
what
end
was
game?
his game plan?
He got to the point where he knew it wasn't worth it to keep trying because he wasn't going to get the recognition he deserved.
So this
he
was just
looking to just get fired on his own by.
He was purely looking for revenge.
I mean, maybe he was
I
looking
guess
to get
shaming the
fired
theater.
because then he'd get a little bit of a severance package. Can't just quit, You always got to get fired.
He's not even a general manager. You think he's getting a severance package?
I don't know. Them theaters are crazy, man. You're like, here's
All
a
of them
bag.
ran by kids.
They're like, here's a bag of popcorn. That should be your 3-month severance. So let's talk a little bit about this movie. It was a Disney Channel original movie that came out November 10th, 2000, which is funny. We're covering this on Halloween time, but it came out after Halloween. So
You know what's funny? I actually remember that as a kid that this came out after Halloween.
yeah, so we kind of missed the mark on that. The whole thing was filmed in Toronto, mostly in the theater I possibly went to. It has a 57% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. So no critic score because, critics ain't wasting their time on TV movies.
Definitely not.
Now let's talk about the cast and everything. This was directed by Blair Trow. Blair Trow is directed a lot of like kids-centric stuff like Power Rangers Turbo, Power Rangers in Space. Speaking of the Paper Brigade, he directed the Paper Brigade. So
Interesting.
yeah, so he was pretty much known for just doing like a bunch of either Disney or like kid-centric stuff. But this was written by Stu Krieger. Now, if you've listened to this
That's my
podcast,
uncle.
Oh, Krieger. It sounds like your name is from an Australian.
Yeah,
it's Krieger.
He's my English uncle.
Oh my gosh.
It's Krieger.
It's Krieger. You might recognize his name because he wrote Smart House, Xenon, The Land Before Time. We've talked about him.
nice.
He's big with
The
the
Land
Disney
Before
Channel original
Time.
movies.
That's dark.
Yep, and you made the same joke about or not the joke, but you made the reference to what's her face? Ducky has on her tombstone. Yep. So we've definitely talked about him before. Pete, our main character, is played by a guy named Taylor Hanley. He was in Bird Box more recently, which I don't remember seeing him in it. I don't know who he played, but he was in a movie called Battle Los Angeles. Do you guys remember that movie?
Yes, the Alien War.
I actually really liked that movie when I saw it in theaters, but I haven't watched it since.
I don't think I've ever
never
seen
it because I ordered it off as DVD off Netflix to watch it, and I got The Battle LA, which was a horrible knockoff, and it was so bad. So bad.
I remember thinking Battle Los Angeles was like really, really cool, but also I was like 19, I think. So like I didn't have good taste. But he was also in
that reminds me of Battleship. I remember when I heard they're making a Battleship movie.
Joe and I saw
this
Battleship
is gonna
together.
be awesome, and then it was just hot garbage.
Joe and I saw like the most random movies. We saw Snow White and the Huntsman and Battleship as a double feature one day.
Yep, it's true.
It was so funny.
This indeed happened.
Yes, it did. He was also in Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning. Have you guys seen that one? I've never seen that one.
I think so. I've seen
probably have,
parts of them, all
memorable.
of them here and there.
Yeah, and then he was also in Jack Frost. I think he was the little kid in Jack Frost. Possibly.
Is that the horror one?
No,
Jack Frost is not the horror one.
Isn't that the nice one with no, it's not Kevin Spacey. I mean,
no,
or
isn't it?
Costner.
But what's his face from Ghostbusters? Isn't it him? Garfield.
I'm gonna find
Why am I
out.
drawing a blank on his name? Zombieland.
Bill Murray?
Yes, thank you. Isn't
No.
it Bill Murray who's Jack Frost?
No, I almost think it's Batman.
Robin Williams?
Michael Keaton.
What's his? Yeah,
Val Kilmer.
I think it's Michael Keaton, but I could be wrong.
Clunes.
Clue. And now I have to look it up.
It was Michael Keaton.
Nice.
Yeah!
Good call. So he was in that movie.
No, the son was a different guy.
Oh, okay. But he was in that movie. So the mom in this movie, she was in an episode of Friends.
Who's that guy?
But
That looks like Barney
That's
Stinson.
him. It does look like Barney Stinson. Dude, that's so funny. A brown-haired Barney Stinson. The mom in this movie, she was in an episode of Friends, and she also had a small part in Under Wraps as well. She played like the Friends mom in Under Wraps. So she didn't have much of a career. She just did little bit parts here and there. The little sister. So I thought this was kind of a funny thing she did. Do you guys remember Inspector Gadget with Matthew Broderick?
Hell yeah, I love.
Well,
that
she
movie.
wasn't in that one. She wasn't in that one. She was in the sequel with French Stewart taking over the role.
Dear
of Matthew Broderick.
Lord.
I didn't even know there was a
my
sequel.
God.
There was a sequel that went straight to the video, I think, and she
my
played Penny in that
God.
one.
I remember. I was wondering why she looked familiar because I remember seeing that god awful sequel.
So bad.
Is she in anything else?
No, that's like she was in a few other things that like I never heard of.
Nothing
but,
notable?
Like, no, Inspector Gadget 2 was her most notable role, I think. Jacob Smith is who played Brian, the little brother. He was in Cheaper by the Dozen.
And he's kind of annoying.
Kind of, yeah. I think he plays the annoying kid in Cheaper by the Dozen as well. But he was also in, and this is a movie we're going to watch next month because Elite 8 Showdown, Small Soldiers.
Oh, I used to own that video on VHS.
Yeah, so Big Chuck and Tim over at Elite 8 Showdown just said on their most recent podcast, Small Soldiers, it holds up. It's a good movie. We shall see. We are going to watch it next month and see whether or not
Kirsten
it holds
Dunst,
up.
right?
Yeah, I think Kirsten Dunst and then this guy, Jacob Smith. And then the guy who played Sean McGivern, his name is Rich Hutchman, and he was in Mad Men. Like, he was in quite a few episodes of Mad Men.
Okay.
He looks like someone to be in Mad Men.
I agree.
So the guy who plays Niedermeyer, did you recognize him? I like recognized him right away.
Yeah. I might be confusing him though. Go ahead. It'll come to me.
He looks like the dude from Umbrella Academy, but it's not him.
So he's from Tommy Boy when they're going around to sell to everyone, and he's like, where's the guarantee if it's not on the box?
I'm listening. Here's the way I see it, Ted. Guy puts a fancy guarantee in a box because he wants you to feel all warm and toasty inside.
Yeah, makes a man feel good.
Of course it does. Why shouldn't it? You figure you put that little box under your pillow at night, the guarantee fairy might come by and leave a quarter. Am I right, Ted?
What's your point?
The point is, how do you know the fairy isn't a crazy glue sniffer? Building model airplane, says the little fairy. Well, we're not buying it. He sneaks into your house once, that's all it takes. Next thing you know, there's money missing off the dresser and your daughter's knocked up. I've seen it 100 times.
But why do they put a guarantee on the box then?
Because they know all they sold you was a guaranteed piece of shit. That's all it is, isn't it? Hey, if you want me to take a dump in a box and mark it guaranteed, I will. I got spare time. But for now, for your customer's sake, for your daughter's sake, you might want to think about buying a quality product from me.
I need the guarantee on the box.
That's him?
That's him.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
That's not what I was thinking of.
Also,
that's what I like
another
hearing
bone
from
to
Owen.
pick I have with this movie. I get it, it's for kids, but like he turns down a great job at a young age. Like, what parent is gonna like not help their kid succeed for future? Like,
He was already
Ugh.
working too much.
Yeah,
He's in high
sometimes-
school.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be working 40 hours a week and be going to school.
don't go to school.
That's actually illegal.
Yeah, that's actually illegal. Not in Canada though. Universal
But then he's
health
not like,
care.
but he's like, you know what? Instead of working too hard, I'll let you not work and I'll give you money to do it.
Yeah, he's like, here's $50. Go take your girl out for breakfast. I'm like, that's a pretty dang good breakfast.
Also,
even to the day
$50 in
standards.
Toronto in that day and age could buy you like a mansion.
Yeah, it could. I've been there.
I don't know,
I've seen
especially when you go to Tim Hortons.
Yeah, you could buy a mansion for a loony and a toonie up there.
Where are all the
Buy Tim
jellies?
Horton.
So the biggest name in this movie, I think, is Mickey Rooney, who plays Movie Mason.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, what?
He's a big deal.
Yeah, big musical deal. Did a bunch of stuff with Judy Garland. He was in Breakfast at Tiffany's. He sang a ton of the songs in
That Oklahoma movie.
Was he in a movie called
The one
Oklahoma?
where they say, "Oh,
the play?
Oklahoma." That the one where they sing that. And they're
Sure,
on the
that one.
and you got Judy Garland on a tram or something like that. I don't
Is
know.
this the only thing you know about this movie? Is that they say,
I've seen it.
"Oh,
Say
Oklahoma."
I've seen it, and I know that. I think it's
Is that
Judy
what,
Garland
is that what
singing
Ricky
on a tram.
Ricardo is trying to sing? Oklahoma, tapioca.
Oh my god! This is
Oh,
going
those
off
Who's
the
Line
rails.
references.
Yep, but Mickey Rooney sang a lot of the songs in Santa Claus is Coming to Town and the very freaky, creepy claymation A Year Without Santa. He sings in
geez.
those.
He was the best character in this.
Oh, he was definitely the best
Yeah.
character in this. I love
First
him. And
square.
I forgot he was in Night at the Museum too with Dick Van Dyke and
Oh,
one other
yeah.
guy that I forget.
Ben Stiller?
No, it was the three older men were all musical guys. There was Dick Van Dyke, Mickey Rooney, and one other musical guy from back in like the 50s. And they were like the three older night museum sheriffs. What are they called? Security guards.
Night Museum
Watch.
Sheriffs?
Yep. Okay, so last few things here. The guy who played Ricky, which I think is like his nemesis, Pete's nemesis. He's in Future Man and Goon. So, those are two things that
Prager
are cool.
loves Goon.
Goon is a great movie.
There you go. He was in it. And then the guy who played Merle, he was in Pacific Rim, The Book of Eli, The Boondock Saints, and The Strain.
Wow.
I didn't
Yep.
recognize him from any of that.
Well, and so was the director, the guy who plays like the director in the movie, Carlo Rota. He was in Boondock Saints as well. I think they play the two guys that get the toilet dropped on their head.
Huh.
I think
Sure
they're
that
the two
wasn't
like
Three Stooges?
thugs. No, it was not. Because there's only two of them.
Toilet dropped on the head sounds like a Three Stooges thing.
Yeah, it's. Have you not seen Boondock Saints, Krager?
It's been a long time.
Oh, okay.
It's
And
been
then-
a while.
A ton of the people in this movie have had parts in Saw movies. So I don't know what the connection is, but like almost everyone in this movie has had like a part in a Saw movie.
The director of Saw must have saw them in this movie.
Wah, wah, wah.
I wonder what is the connection there.
I mean, there's probably some like the casting person probably went on to do casting for the Saw movies or something.
He's like,
It's
you
like,
know who
you
are
already
really
want
good?
that movie. You want to be in another one?
Hey, Saw is great. The first one, excellent.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the other 24. So I have one fun fact for you guys. Do we even play the
Just
jingle
one.
for that? Just
No,
like
no.
the first.
Sure, let's do it.
I feel like you gotta get three.
No.
It's just gonna be the first like what is facts done. So
What is facts? Baby, they're fun.
It's right there.
the only fun fact I have is that the clips that are shown for the Glimpses of Genevieve movie are actually from a movie called Alice, Sweet Alice, which is a horror film released in 1976.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
But I
kind
do-
of weird because I'm assuming all the other films they made their own. stuff for it.
Yes, they did. They did. But I do have a fun mental floss article here for you, which mental floss is like BuzzFeed, but
Oh, okay.
a lot
Is this
more
a Texas thing.
a lot more hygienic. I don't know. So it says 11 things that used to be at theaters that are no longer at theaters.
Oh,
So
okay.
like movie theaters opened up like what in the 1910s, 1920s is kind of when they got big and everything.
They were called talkies.
The moving pictures.
So these are things that were like in old school theaters that kind of have lost their ability in today's theaters.
Cigarette
vending
dispensers.
machines.
Ah,
yes.
Krager, we're on
Actually,
it.
yeah.
No cup holders, but ashtrays built into every seat.
Yeah.
So you're right on that one. Another thing was the red velvet curtain covering the screen. So they used to make it like a play where
okay.
the screen wouldn't be there until like in the 60s or 70s when they realized
No, they
play
still have that.
in some areas, but not most. Most of the time, they want to use that like prime time of the 20 to sell you on some Coke products and some local realtors.
True.
Not gonna lie, I actually do love the post movie shows and
I-
trailers and stuff.
I love the movie stuff too, with like the trivia and everything. I do like
Yeah.
that. I do
You mean
like
the
it.
pre-movie
It was
stuff,
always-
Joe?
Yeah.
He
He's a
sticks around.
post.
He sticks around until way after the credits for the post movie.
Oh, did I say post movie?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, my
Which
bad.
is just a movie about cereal. So there's also real ushers back in the day. You know, like now you have like the teenagers where like they go and they sweep up the popcorn. But back in the day, they had actual ushers who would like walk you to your seat, and like it was essentially
With
like
the little
going-
light stick.
Yeah, with a little light stick. And like actually, if you like left your kids at home and you were like, just in case the babysitter calls, I'm sitting here, and they would like take mental notes and like everything. Like they were actual
I'd be
ushers.
terrible at that job.
Was there a cinema sitter?
There was no cinema sitters. Nope, just the ushers. Okay, get this. This was super weird. So in the 1930s, there was a thing called dish night. And this was
is that
Everyone
just
brings
when-
in, like, a
is that-
dish?
hold on, is that just when Sean Connery sees the fellow night? He's like, dish night.
No, but that's amazing. No, Dish Night was a promotion they did in the 1930s during the Great Depression, where they had to incentivize people to pay for movie tickets. Where on certain nights they gave away china, like actual dishes.
How did we own China and now we're in debt to China? How could we just give away parts of China?
Fine pieces of plates is what I mean.
You don't even get a full plate. Terrible. Offer.
Nope, pieces of plates. You have to glue
Why
them all
is it
together.
called China?
Because it was
It
made
probably
in
came-
China.
Yeah, it probably came from China.
I think
I
that's
don't
why.
know if that's 100% accurate.
I'm going to say that's accurate. I'm going to go with that one. So the another
Remember
thing,
when that was a big thing for couples to get at weddings?
China.
Yeah. Like you
Like
get
the
a
wrestler?
free wedding and then you'd never use it. Don't all our parents had like didn't that was a big thing in movies too. Like they might find China. I never use it except for now.
Yeah, my mom held on to like some of her like china for like decades to give to me, and then she was like, "Do you want this?" I'm like, "No." So, way to hold on to it forever, and then
What am I gonna do with a fancy plate?
yeah, what do I want this for? I don't want this. So another thing is they used to play newsreels before the movie because people didn't have television. So the only way you could
That's how else did you get updated about the war?
well, you could hear the news, but you could never actually see it unless you went to the theater. So you would get there early.
Same with cartoons.
I was going to say
Looney Tunes in the beginning.
serials and cartoons would play before the movie as well. So you would have like a little pre-movie thing. Also, double features were expected. Back in the day, you didn't pay for a ticket unless you were getting a cartoon and 2 movies out of it.
If you go to
Wow.
a drive-in, they're all still double features.
Now, here's my
That is
question,
true.
you guys, though. Do we have the attention span anymore to sit through 2 movies back to back? I don't know if I could do 4
I
hours of
100%
movies.
do.
Yeah,
I don't.
100% do.
If the movies are good, then yes. And if I have sweets.
I
That's
love
true.
movies. I am movie Mason. I would watch 2 movies back to back, definitely.
I love movies
100%.
too, but I just think I would need a standing section in the back where I could like get up and stretch my legs a
Jordan,
little bit.
do you binge
Well, you
TV
do that
shows?
for one of your bathroom breaks during the movies.
That's true, and they would do an intermission.
Yeah, they do an intermission.
Jordan, do you binge? Can you sit down and binge TV shows for like 5 hours?
I mean, like when I do, I usually get up and like fold some clothes or do something while I'm
You're
doing
the
it.
worst.
He's very serious about his laundry.
I really am, guys. So back in the day in the theater, they had a way fancier dress code. Like you could not wear a t-shirt and sneakers like we do now.
I remember the first time I flew, I went with my grandma on Delta, and like this was back probably in like the
early 20s.
Late 90s, early 2000s, probably
He was
like
flying that Pan Am in 1954.
no, probably like early 2000s, and like there was a dress code to fly Delta. Still
Not
in the
gonna
early
lie.
2000s.
I do wish places still had dress codes. I think it'd be awesome to get on a plane in a suit.
I don't because
I guess you can.
and
everyone is in a suits and stuff, business class.
That'd be so
I'm down for it.
uncomfortable.
I'm here for it.
I know. I was gonna say
Get a suit
so
that
uncomfortable.
fits.
Even if it fits. Like
It's not uncomfortable.
Are you telling me when I can go in my comfy shorts?
I don't
know,
want
I'm
the
gonna
rich
take my
man's
comfy shorts.
noose around my neck the whole ride.
Loosen it.
What am I at a party?
No, only if we're wearing a lampshade.
Also, it doesn't make sense. You're gonna wrinkle your suit sitting on the plane for several hours.
Yeah, so then you just fall asleep in the tub at the hotel. Porcelain doesn't wrinkle suits.
Oh my gosh.
The last thing that they
Fiberglass.
had at theaters was cry rooms for fussy babies. So, like at churches, how they have that room for moms to like go breastfeed their babies, or like if the baby's acting up, go back there away from us and you're banned from society because your child's crying. They had that in theaters. So
I thought I immediately
people
thought
don't
if like
do
the
that
movie was
anymore.
too sad or you weren't feeling the horror
cry.
film, you can go into the cry room.
I'm in the cry room. I'm in the cry room.
Or back in the 20s, when your wife's having a fit and you just send her to the cry room.
Oh man. Yep. So those are the things that were at movie
You're
theaters
out of
before.
Quaaludes.
Well, that was Phantom of the Megaplex. That was a fun one to rewatch. That was good.
It was good.
It was okay.
It was okay.
I was surprised. As a couple friends I talked to, they didn't. Stacy says she never even heard of it.
What? Did she not have a childhood?
She did, I think.
I don't think so.
I feel like this one wasn't exactly marketed as much as some of the other Disney Channel original movies. If memory serves me right.
I feel like I watched this one way more though.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I know. I've seen it multiple times. It's prime for our age. It came out in 2000.
Mm-hmm. I was like, I just turned 11, so
I was 9.
yeah.
But I back then thought and still think Don't Look Under the Bed and Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire are both better.
Can of Worms too. Can of Worms.
I've actually never seen Can of Worms.
Oh man, that was a good one. That was a real good one. If you like cans of worms, go to our Patreon, patreon.com/podcast.
Tune in next week.
Yeah, just go to wreckmypodcast.com. All of our stuff's there, Redbubble, Instagram, YouTube, Patreon, all that fun stuff. I'm done doing plugs. I mean, if we don't get any new listeners, it's just the same people listening over and over and over again now.
You never know.
Nah. So we have a poll. We have a poll going on right now. And if you're listening to this the day it comes out, you may be able to get just in at the end, at the finals of what we're going to watch for Halloween, actual Halloween episode, what classic horror film. And as of right now, it looks like a few I Know What You Did Last Summer, just lost. I think.
Aw.
I think.
Dang it!
I think Carrie has moved on. Child's Play has
Feffy!
moved on,
Feffy!
and two other ones have moved on. So
I think I either voted last night or this morning, and all those you once said that lost were winning.
Well, right
Dang
now,
it.
Halloween and whatever Halloween's going up against are tied 50-50. So I don't know what I'm going to do if it's a tie.
What was it going up against? Was it Poltergeist?
I think it was no
Or Friday
I
the
don't-
13th?
I think it was
first one?
Friday the 13th. I think it was Halloween
I'm
versus Friday
so
the 13th.
mad that freaking Jennifer Love Hewitt lost. Dang it! That's the
Yeah.
one thing. That was the only one I was excited about.
Well, we
Yeah,
can
I
still
love
watch
Feffy.
it. We can watch Feffy.
No.
I like it. Sarah Michelle Gellar. I mean,
It's
it's a great
topical
movie.
considering the new terrible
Is she
one
in
just
that
came
movie?
out.
And I Know What You Did Last Summer. Of course, Sarah Michelle Gellar's in that one.
She's the big name in that one.
No, it's Jennifer Love Hewitt.
No, Jennifer Love Hewitt is the top billing, but Sarah Michelle Gellar plays her friend.
Oh, wait,
Huh.
they're both in that one?
They're both in that one. Yeah.
Oh, well, Freddy's in that one too, right?
Hey, did you guys watch the new Scream trailer?
No, not yet.
Oh, I'm all on board for it.
Have you watched the new Batman trailer?
Yep, Craig and I were talking about it before you hopped on.
Before you hopped on, we were like, it was exciting.
Hey, you know what? Before we divulge into craziness, I'm gonna say bye.
And we'll be right back after this short message from our sponsors.
Hollywood. Something, 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 Hollywood.
Phantom of the Megaplex strikes again!
Wreck My Podcast. Wreck My Podcast.
Krager, we were looking at horror movies to watch because, it's October. And I don't remember what platform I saw this on. Don't remember what the movie was called, but we watched a trailer, which the main character was a young Keely from Ted Lasso.
Ooh, I'll look it up right now.
I don't know that
remember what it was
character
called.
name.
Because you don't watch Ted Lasso. You
I
should watch
don't.
Ted Lasso.
I
Have you
should.
watched Invincible yet?
Nope. I also need to watch Lower Deck. You have told me that.
Dude.
But right now, I have season 3 just came out. I want to watch Squid Game. I've got 30 minutes into the first
Squid
episode.
Game.
Huh. Keely was in the second Maleficent.
You say potato.
Malevolent is a movie.
I say
isn't
potato.
it?
Let's call the whole thing off. Jesus.
Is there anything else that was cool from
Keely was
DC
in
fandom?
Sin City, A Dream to Kill For.
A dame?
A dame to kill for?
A dream. That was-
Dyslexia!
There's not even an R in there.
A dream to kill for would be Nightmare on Elm Street 12. A dream to kill for.
Keely was in both Maleficents. And she was in Horns with,
Ooh, Daniel Radcliffe.
yeah. Joe, was a movie you're talking about called Magic Magic?
Oh, it might have been.
Joe, have you seen the movie Us?
Guys,
Okay.
Keely was in
Wait,
The Dark
us
Knight
or
Rises.
them?
Joe, Keely was in The Dark Knight Rises.
The third one?
Yeah.
I just saw that recently. I didn't recognize her at all.
She was in The Three Musketeers that came out in 2011. Oh my god.
What's her actual name?
Juno Temple.
No, you know
Excuse me?
Temple. All right, guys, I'm gonna head out.
Damn it.
Have you guys been watching
The movies that made us? Yeah,
Did you watch the Friday the 13th
What's that?
one?
I did.
Okay, I watched that today, and I was
the movies
shocked.
that made us.
The
It's like a
movies that-
documentary on how they made certain movies and the process that went
Which
through it.
streaming service?
Netflix.
Netflix.
I'll
It's been around for a
check it.
while. They did Ghostbusters, Back to the Future,
Out.
Jurassic Park,
Yeah, they just released
Alien.
all the horror movie ones in this season. So it's Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street,
Halloween.
And
Which
Elf is on there for some reason.
The coolest thing about them was the Halloween episode when they told you that the mask that they made for Michael Myers was a William Shatner mask that just had the eye holes cut out and painted white.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I thought it was very interesting on Friday the 13th that literally
to kill you.
Literally, the composer was like, all I did was take kill and Ki and mother MO and go and that's how they got the song for it.
Yep.
I'm just
Dude,
that's so crazy.
Dude, there was a stint where they came out with a game 3 or 4 years ago, and me and my gaming group, we played that so much.
It was a
so
Friday
fun,
the
like,
13th game, and
Yeah, it
Katie didn't
was-
say that.
we were just talking about it. So
I do. I remember that game because it was pretty much what was that game? Evolution or Evolve, where one person
Yeah.
was the big killer, and
Yeah.
then before you had to take him down.
yeah,
it was essentially that.
It was
game.
it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Especially because
looked
it was you had it was proximity mics, so we would go out of party chat and you into game chat, and everyone in the game, it's proximity chat.
Oh, that's cool. So you have to be close to each other in the game to hear each other.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
it was so much fun.
Oh, that's
And then you're stressed out fuck, he's coming. That's what my
It
girl
was so
says.
much fun, actually. It was a really fun game.
Was there any time one of the kills where he just puts you in a sleeping bag and slams you against the tree, in the fourth movie or whatever?
No, that would have been cool though.
Oh.
What? No. There is something with the sleeping bag, though. I'm pretty sure he takes the sleeping bag. He either just slams it on the ground a bunch of times, or he puts it over a campfire.
Oh, that's cool. That's a good homage then, because I love the sleeping bag kill. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, the amount of kills that are in that are pretty cool.
Wreck My Podcast.